So everybody should be able to hear me, and also everybody should be able to see my screen. You're gonna see on the screen, you're gonna see the class notes, and we're gonna talk about that soon. Okay, so welcome everybody. My name is Isa Bombardier. I'm the tech teacher. Thank you for being here today. And if you're joining us on the catching up the recording, that's fine. Anybody can it's welcome to watch the recording. And we're gonna go through the introduction. And some of you, I know you are, you've been with this class for a while, and thank you for your support. And if you're new, you're welcome. And I'm gonna start. Yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna start moving stuff around so everybody can see it. If you can see the screen. Okay, so I have to have everybody muted. One second, I have an echo here. Okay, so I have to have anybody muted for now. But then I'll let you know how we can talk about questions. So everybody is gonna join by Zoom. I have an account now that I can assure you most of the classes are gonna be in Zoom. And I'm gonna send you should have got an email today with the Zoom link. And I'm also gonna post the Zoom into the Slack. And we're gonna talk about Slack. This class I aim for this class to be 45 minutes, but in the past it's been over 45 minutes. And that's good. So between 45 minutes and an hour. So that's what the class is, and it's 4 classes. So we meet every Thursday at 7 o'clock. So we'll meet next Thursday and the following Thursday, so until we have 4. So the first class today is an intro. We're just gonna talk about the apps that you're gonna need for this class. You should have an email with an explanation of everything we need to do, like what browser you should have. You should have either Firefox or Chrome. And then all of you are in Zoom, and then we're gonna talk about Slack first. So you can choose to join Slack, or you can choose to not join Slack. This is your option. You don't have to join Slack if you don't want to. What is Slack? Slack is our communication tool. Since we cannot be in person, this is the Slack, which is what you see here, is our virtual classroom. So if you go here where it says Thursday class, this is our Blackboard, kind of our virtual Blackboard. This is where I'm gonna put the information for the class. So like, for example, today I put the Zoom link, and I usually put it the day of or the day before. And you can always, you always have this. And then I put today a file that we're gonna be using today. If you are new to the class, if you're joining today, do not worry about it. If you were here last week, you know what I'm talking about. This class before. I mean, you were with me last week and we've been working with files. So anything that you post here on these channels that you see the hashtag right here, all these are public channels. They're like blackboards. Everybody's gonna see what you write. So use this space, this channel, to ask questions during the class. One of the advantage is if we all can collaborate with each other. So somebody says, hey, I don't see my Zoom account. Somebody can jump in and say, hey, the Zoom link is somewhere and it can help you. And you can do that. You can help your fellow classmates and also ask questions. So the Slack has good thing that I can put code and I can put files there, and you can also copy paste code and give it to me, or you can take a screenshot of what you're doing and put on a Slack, and I can see it in real time faster than I can see it in Zoom. Also, anytime anybody send me a message, we call it Slack. Anytime anybody Slack me, I can hear it, and which is doesn't happen when you put anything on Zoom. But again, it's your option to use Slack or not. You can ask questions on Zoom, but most of the time I'm gonna be focused on the Slack message and not so much at the Zoom message. Today, I'm gonna be doing both, but for the following classes, I'm gonna be focusing more on the Slack, and because we're gonna have more dynamic information there. If you choose if you want to send a private message, some of you send me a private message, you just do the direct message, and you can click here and you put my name, and that's how you send a private message. A private message, nobody sees it, only me. Okay, or the person that you send it to. Okay, so everybody should be here. Oh, not today, but the next class, but most of you should be here today. As if you have any questions, just type it on the channel Thursday class. Okay, so I have here the notes for today, and I'm gonna share it and make sure I'll make it for everybody. So I'm gonna copy the link and I'm gonna put it on Slack on the Thursday channel, and you can access it right there. So you can click it here, and I'm gonna put it on Zoom today in case anybody has not be able to join Slack or is totally confused about Slack. That's fine. There is a lot of information going on today. So you can click on this and open it on your browser. Okay, so that's for Slack. So I'm gonna move that Slack out of my screen, and I'm gonna put here the screen sheet. Oh, and something very, very important. The only rule that I have for to post on Slack is, and I think I send it, I put it somewhere right here. This is the only rule that I have. When given the choice between being right or being kind, choose to being kind. To choose to be kind. So that's the only rule that I have for posting here. So we went through Slack, and if you have any question about Slack, send me an email and I can clarify with you. Now the spreadsheet, the notes. So now you can see the notes, and you can open this in your device and read through it. And this is all the notes what we're gonna do today. So I'm just gonna use that, and I have below here some resources, extra information, and I have all the files that you're gonna be using here more. There is more information here. Okay, I have here a new student orientation, so you can go through here and look through what's going on. This is how to put your screen so you can watch the class. So you can either watch the class on put the Zoom here on a tablet or an iPhone, and then use a laptop or a desktop to run the code. You can have two devices sign up with Zoom. Some people do that, or you can do two screens. This class, I always tell them, everybody that joins, what ultimately matters in this course, not so much where you end up related to your classmate, but where you end up related to yourself when you began. So make a little note about how much you know today and how much you're gonna know in 4 weeks. Okay, and there is more information here about the IDE. Okay, so the IDE that we're gonna use is an online IDE. And if you don't know what an IDE is, it's basically the app we use to run the code. So that IDE is called Cs50 IDE, and I'm just gonna Google it. You should have a link with it that I sent on a PDF, which is called the tools and gears for this class. And it's called Cs50. And let me put the link here. And if you haven't done this, you should go ahead and take sometime in this weekend to sign up to the IDE. So basically, to do the IDE, you have to make a GitHub account. I don't talk about GitHub here. The only thing I need from you is to make a GitHub account. Then you go to the site called, you can Google Cs50 Ide, and it's gonna ask you to type your GitHub account. And once you get your GitHub account, you get this IDE. Okay, so if you have any questions, Slack me, email me. I can, after going through all these videos and it still doesn't make sense for you, we can go through, we can schedule a one-on-one consultation on Zoom. And there is information here about how to run the IDE. So once you sign up into your Cs50 IDE, this Cs50 IDE is an online IDE that was made for Harvard students that are freshmen. It is run online. I like it because we all have the same IDE, and I can troubleshoot it with you, and I know what you have at home, and you know what I'm using. There are other IDE that you can download and make it work in your computer. If you feel comfortable about doing that, you are good, but I cannot help you with that because I don't know your computer. There is a lot of tutorials there on the internet to download IDEs, to download SQL packages and so on. And you're welcome to experiment with that, but I cannot give troubleshooter for you. So the only thing I can help you with the Cs50 IDE so far has worked great to learn simple code. So any questions right now? So you can unmute yourself or type it on either Slack.
I have a question.
Yeah,
IDE is just something that we need to install on the on our machine, or it's just like browser IDE?
It's a browser.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, the link, let me get you the link. You should be able to find it here on the tool and gears. If you click on that, it's gonna tell you the Cs50 IDE, which is this one.
I found it actually there.
Yeah.
When I
okay. Somebody else. I don't know if you are the same person. Somebody on Slack asked me.
No, it's a different person. The
okay.
question is like, can I share my IDE with you in case if I'm running like into
No,
trouble?
I'm sorry because I don't know what you have. The only one I can troubleshoot is the Cs50 IDE.
Yeah, the Cs50 IDE. Like I can give you the link of my account, and then you can find what's going on. Or
I don't understand your question.
Why maybe we will cross it when we are there. Like
yeah. No, you make your account.
I made my account. Yeah. Let's say if I am having some trouble, like how do I share my screen with you?
You can take a screenshot.
Okay, got it. Okay.
I have downloaded IDE and
get into anybody's account. You can just take a screenshot and you can put on Slack, or you can copy paste the code and put on Slack. Any other question? I heard somebody talking, sorry.
Yeah, I have downloaded, I have connected my GitHub account with IDE, but I see like a blank screen. I don't see what you see. It's different.
Yes, I've been using this for like a year now. So you should, that's what I wanted to say. So just hold on your question. I'm just going to talk to about the IDE right now because everybody is getting ahead. So that's what I wanted to say. So when you open, if you happen to be here, you open your IDE and it's going to look similar to this. The main thing, it has the DAC, it says CS50. Is this your first time opening this application? This is going to be empty. You're not going to have these folders, 0 folders. It's going to be totally empty. Because I've been using this for a year. So I have a lot of stuff here. And some of my students, some people that have been doing this for before, they're going to have folders. But if you don't have any folders, don't worry for today. We'll cover that. Okay. So you're going to have this. So to talk about the IDE, so this IDE is basically runs on the web. Yeah, all the sessions are recorded and are available on YouTube. And I'm recording right now. And I've recorded on YouTube, and if everything goes well, they're gonna be available as soon as I finish the class. And I'll put the link on Slack or by email. Most likely it'll be on Slack before. Or you can go to YouTube, East Bronx Public Library YouTube, and you'll find the class there. So if you have this works online, and if you want to share your code, we're going to talk about how you can share it, but mostly you can take a screenshot and I can help troubleshoot it. When you take the screenshot, if it's something to do with navigation of folder, make sure you take a screenshot of all this so I can see where you are. Some people, so right now, I'm not navigating between folders. Some people make the mistake and it's okay. They kind of navigate out of this environment and they go somewhere like back. And if that happens, you will have to restart the IDE. And I have only like a person in every class that does that. It's okay. It's good to experiment, and I encourage the people to explore, and we learn by mistakes. So you're gonna have here a terminal. So like, for example, let me close this. You're gonna have here a plus, and it says new file or a new terminal. The terminal, you can move it down, or you can close it here, or you can do here new terminal. This is the way I organize it. You can change the color. You can go and explore here all this feature here and change the colors. You don't like the colors, you can move this around. So you have here the terminal. We're not gonna use files today because we're just gonna run the terminal today. So don't worry about the files. We do the files next week or the following week, most likely. So this is where we're gonna do the terminal. So the terminal is basically, is this your first time running the CS50 IDE, it's gonna be entered. So you're gonna do ls. If you type ls here, where it says the $, and you press enter, for you, if it's your first time, you're not gonna have anything. It's gonna be empty, right? So don't worry if nothing happens. If you were with me a couple weeks ago, you're gonna have folders. That's fine, that's totally fine, okay? So any questions so far? Okay, so no questions. So I'm gonna move now. So this is basically the IDE. So let's go back to my my notes. Oh, and I went somewhere else. I took a detour there. Okay, so what is SQL? So SQL is a database language. Is a language that we use to run databases. This is a relational database. I'm not going to go in depth about what a database is. It's outside of the scope. This is an intro to SQL. So I'm going to give you basic syntax, basic code, so you can apply it to run a database, a SQL database. And the language that we're going to use, the database we're going to use is called SQLite 3, which is a developmental database. It's not an Oracle, it's not Microsoft, it's not Apache, it's not, what is the other one? One of those big ones is a developmental database. It's a free open source database that we can use it to learn. So it's free for everybody. We can use it to learn. And usually companies that are developing new products or are doing prototypes, they will use a SQLite 3 database. And there are different databases, but the language is the same, which is SQL. And you can read more about what SQL is and so on. But the aim, the scope of this class is for you to be able to run simple SQL code. And then you can further, if you feel like it, learn more. So I'm going to give you the basis. And later on, maybe you can take a class or take more advanced classes about it. So we're going to use the Cs50 IDE. Like I said, you can use your own IDE, but I cannot help you with that. I can only help you with Cs50 IDE. The Cs50 IDE was developed by Harvard for students. So they have their own SQLite 3 environment here that we can use. Okay. So right now, if this is your first time, you're gonna stay here on this level. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about navigation or create folders yet. If this is your first time, just stay here. If this is not your first time, as you were with me last week, go ahead and make a folder for your SQL files. Okay, so like I have here a SQL file folder that I made that I'm gonna use to keep all my SQL files. And if this is your first time, we'll go through it next time. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, let me move this so I can read at the same time talking. So the first thing we're gonna do right here at the terminal, I'm gonna navigate to my SQL folder. I have a folder that I made here just to keep things organized. If this is your first time, and also I suggest you to do, this class is for you. So when I'm doing things, try to do it at the same time. And then if you run into trouble, let me know on Slack or Zoom. So, okay, so I'm gonna navigate to my folder. 1 second, it takes a while to get. So while you guys are set up, I have to navigate to my folder here. So it's SQL files. Okay, so I'm in the folder I need to be. And again, if this is your first time, you don't have to navigate to any folder because you don't have any folder. So I'm gonna open the SQLite 3 environment. So you're just gonna type SQLite 3. So go ahead and type that and then press enter. And then you're gonna see this, all this information is telling you that you are inside the SQL environment. So you just type this. I'm gonna put on Slack so you can copy paste and put it on the terminal.
Should all of us type this? Or
excuse me?
Should all of us type this, or the newcomer should just watch?
I'm sorry, can you explain again?
Yeah, so the newcomers should also do this, or they should just watch?
Yes. What up? 1 sec.
But newcomers, like I'm starting today, and I don't have SQLite there. How do I get I mean, you are doing SQLite.
Do you have the CS50 IDE?
Yeah, I'm there actually, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So you just type C. Okay, let
okay,
me
okay,
get
okay.
out. Let me get out here. And I'm gonna do it again. So if you're a
Oh, okay, right,
newcomer,
right, right. Got it, got it.
right here on the $, you're gonna write SQLite 3
Right,
like
right,
that.
right. It worked, it worked.
And then you press enter and there you are.
Yep.
Good, good, good. So again, if you have any trouble, let me know either on Slack or unmute yourself and I'll try to help you. Okay, so we're in it. Yeah, we're in it. So we got into the SQL environment. So yeah, I know. It's always exciting when things work. When technology works, it's amazing. So then you can read here and see more information. I'm going to leave this for you to read and learn more about it. The other thing is we're going to upload a file on the Cs50 Ide. So how do we do that? So if this is your first time, you don't have to worry what folder. You're just going to add it anywhere because you don't have any folder. So you're going to go here, File, Upload. Oh no, let me tell you where the file is. 1 second, because I haven't told you where the file is. So I put the file on the SQL, on Slack. It's right here. So you go to Thursday class, scroll up, and you're gonna find this ice cream folder. And you're gonna download it. So to download it, you click here, more actions. No, where is the, right here. You click on the
How do
white
I get
part
into that
and it
Slack?
says download.
Sorry to interrupt. How do I
Yes.
get into that Slack? That
Can you repeat?
that environment showing us that Slack environment Thursday class. I don't know how do I get into that.
Did you get an invitation?
I got the invitation, right?
But you haven't got in it, right?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to put it on Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
1 second. Let me put it. See if I can put it on the Zoom chat. Let's see. 1 second. I have to file the file in my computer. Ice cream. Yeah, here it is. Ice cream. And now it should be there. So it should be in this chat, but so yeah. So you're gonna download that file into your computer. That's ice cream CSV file. You're gonna have to download it into your computer, and then you're gonna have to upload it into your IDE. So when you get it from the chat, I put it here in the chat. If you don't have Slack yet, you can download it to your computer. And then we're gonna go here to Cs50 Ide file, and you're gonna upload it from local files. And if you have a folder, like the people that were with me last week, if you have a folder, you can put it inside the folder, or you can just put it somewhere else. The thing is, you want to run the file needs to be in the same place where you're running the environment. So if you are at this level running your SQL environment, your file should be at the same level. It shouldn't be you're running here and your file is here, or your file is here. It should be at the same level. Or you're gonna have to put the file path, and that gets things more complicated than they should be.
Hi, can you hear me?
Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
File here.
Hello?
What did you say?
How do we download the ice cream file?
Are you on Slack or Zoom?
On Slack.
So you go to Slack and you go to Thursday class.
Yes.
And then you're gonna scroll. Excuse me?
I see the file. I just don't know how to download it.
Oh, right here, if you hover over the file on the white part, you're gonna see this a little cloud with an arrow, and it says download. Like here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then it's gonna download to your computer.
Okay, got it.
Okay, this is always like the most the hardest classes of all is the first class to get everybody in the same page to learn the IDE. So everybody goes through that, getting used to maneuver something, but
Can I
then
ask you a
it's
question?
easy.
Can I ask you
Any
a question?
question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm okay with the file. I uploaded everything.
Uh-huh.
I'm just asking this Slack environment that you are showing us, where
Yeah.
you have that colored environment. How do I get that in my machine? That environment.
I can you send me an email and then we'll talk about that.
I would send you that email.
Yeah.
Just reply to that email.
Yeah, just send me an email and said
Yeah. Okay.
and then you can either stay out after the class and we talk about it, or we talk
Okay.
through email. Okay, so and that is for everybody else. If anybody has any question with Slack, you can, or any other, you can stay after the class or send me an email and we will talk about it, because it's not immediately needed. What I'm more concerned is about the Cs50 IDE. So then when you have your file on your computer, you're gonna upload it and you select the file and you find your file in your computer. You see I have a lot of things here. So you have to find the file that you need and you select it. I don't think I'm gonna find it. I'm just gonna choose this one, but because I can't find the one I need. And then you open, and then it's gonna be uploaded. So like, for example, this one is uploaded. If you don't have any folders, it'll show up here at the first level, and that's fine because that's where you're running your SQL. Okay. And like I said, this is recorded, so if you have any question or if you missed something, you can rewatch this again, or you can send me an email after the class, or stay after the class and we can troubleshoot that. Okay, so moving on, we uploaded that file, and the file is on here on the, I also have it on the handout for this class. And then what we're gonna do is now tell SQL that we're gonna run. We need a CSV environment. So a CSV environment, CSV, it means a comma separated value, which is a file similar to an Excel file. So we had to tell SQL, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to work with CSV file, which is what we just uploaded. We uploaded an ice cream CSV file. So this is the format of the file, which means that it has rows, and it has columns. That's all it means. So we need to tell the environment, hey, this is what we are dealing with. So be aware of that. So we're gonna type right here. I'm gonna go back to my SQL environment because I got out. I did something wrong. No, I was still in the SQL, sorry. Let me do this again because sometimes I can talk and write at the same time. Okay, if you ever get into a problem and you wanna get out, just do Control D. So let me try it again. Maybe not. There it is. Okay, there it is. So the next thing I'm gonna do is type mode CSV. Mode CSV, if it's what it's gonna tell the the SQLite 3 that we're gonna deal with spread-like files, CSV files. Okay, we press enter. Then we're gonna bring the file that we just uploaded, the file, the ice cream file, we're gonna bring it into the SQLite database. So we're gonna type, I'm gonna put it on Slack so you know. If you didn't change the name of the file, this should work. Let me put it here in Slack, and then I'm gonna put it in Zoom for today. So I gave you the code, and you're gonna type that import single quote, the name of the file that you uploaded exactly as is written, that CSV, end of quote, and then we're gonna give it a name. So for SQL, it's gonna get a name. So we're gonna import it, and then we're gonna tell SQL, this is a table that is called ice cream table. And we're gonna press enter. So everybody got that, or kinda?
Is there any reason why ice cream is lowercase and table is uppercase?
No.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. I just, for ease, it's just me typing things. That's the way I wanted to type it. The only thing that needs to match exactly is the name of the file. That's the only thing it needs to match exactly. Here, you can name it whatever you want, but since that's what I use on the notes, I'm gonna use that one. Okay, so now
for the file name, is it case sensitive?
Yes, it has to be exactly.
Okay.
Because the computer doesn't know. The computer will recognize uppercase and lowercase as a different character. So you have to, when you are talking about files, you need to talk about the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. So so once you have, and that's why I put the code here on Slack, and this code, when it's formatted like this, like I just on red, you can copy paste and put it directly on your IDE. So that's why it's pretty cool to work on Slack when you code, because Slack is designed to exchange code. So you can take it from Slack and put it on the IDE directly. Okay, so now we have the file into the database, the SQL database, and it's called a table. It's a table. There is a table there. So what is the next thing we're gonna do? There is a question. From where to run? Do all see? No, we're gonna talk about the different ways. So yeah, a lot of great. Where to run? I don't understand. There is a question on Slack. I don't know the question. Where to run SQLite? I don't know what your error. Cannot open ice cream CSV. Okay, so just hold on. Ari, just hold on and we'll talk about it. Let me just finish this and we'll talk about any other error that could happen. So now that we have that, if it worked for you, if it doesn't work for you, we'll troubleshoot it. So in SQL, there are the main properties that we have. It's called, in database, is CRUD, create, read, update, delete. In SQL, we're gonna have a couple more. We have create, insert, select, and update and delete. So just remember those words because we're gonna be using. If you got an error, just hold on and I may know what the error is. I just wanna go through this and then we troubleshoot. So now we're gonna look at the schema. The schema is the property of that table. What is a table? Because we cannot see the table. So we're gonna put that schema, and it's gonna tell us what is inside the table. So the table is called ice cream table, and it has two columns. It has a column called, it has two fields. One field is timestamp, and the types field is text, and the flavor is another field, and the data type is text. We can have text, integers, and booleans, and some others. So text means that it's only, you can put letters and numbers, but it's a text field. So now that we have that, and if you have any question, it's okay. I'm just going to show you what is this about, and then we're going to talk about what could have happened that you got an error. So after we do this, we're going to do what is inside, to look what is inside the table. So we're going to spit out the data. So we're going to get an output of all the data. So how do we do that? So we're going to take this code, and I'm going to put it on Slack, and you can copy paste it. And I'm going to put it on Zoom. Zoom, you might need, I don't know if you're going to need. So somebody was saying, do we do dots, or do we usually do dots? It depends. We can do dots. When we do dots, we don't put semicolon. In this case, we're going to use this type of code. And what we do is there is a best practice that anytime you use a SQL function, a SQL code, you're going to use uppercase. If you put lowercase, it'll run, but it's a convention. Anything is in SQL code, you're going to put an uppercase. This is select from the whole table. It's going to select all the columns. So when you put this, it's like a wild search. It's going to select all the columns from the table called ice cream table. And then at the end, you're going to put semicolon. Okay. And then you're going to get the whole output of the table, everything. And if you open your ice cream CSV file, you're going to see it's the same thing. So if you open it, you're going to see it's the same thing. If any case, if you put this, like I'm going to show you, if you do this and you forget to put the semicolon, it's not going to show you the output, right? But let's put the semicolon, and then it shows you the icon. So if you forget to put the semicolon, you just put the last semicolon, and it'll enter, it'll work most of the time. Okay, so now we have that. We have the output. Okay, so some things that happen that might not be that you got an error. Some people say they got an error. When did they get an error? Oh, somebody sent me a picture.
Yeah, I received an error initially, but again I ran it second time, it worked.
It worked. Oh, good. And then somebody here on Slack sent me a picture. Let me see. Cannot open. So if you get a message here that says you cannot open, after you right here where you says, when I put import ice cream, you need to make sure you have the file on your IDE. So for example, here on my folder, I have a folder here. I navigated, remember, I navigated to that folder called SQL file. Inside that SQL file, I'm running my SQL 3, Lite 3 environment. Inside that folder, I have placed the file ice cream CSV. Okay. If you have this file somewhere else, like you have it up here, it's not going to run. It's going to give you an error because the computer cannot find it. So you can either move it to the folder where you are running your SQLite, or the path. And at this point, it's better you can just grab it, and it's very easy. You can just see that. You can just move it. Okay, so that's one of the problems. Okay, so let's see what other questions have. So those are very common mistakes, and that's why, you know, if this is it takes practice. It just takes practice. I practice a lot before this class because there is a lot of things going on. For example, if you misspell, if you, like somebody was asking me, it has to be up case sensitive. If you put the I lower, it's gonna give you an error because it has to look exactly as the file. If you put here double quote and you put the other one single quote, it's gonna give you an error probably. I mean, it's very, you have to be very careful how to type things. But the main thing you have to learn is that import is always that import. Then you're gonna put quotes, and you can use double quotes or single quotes. You just remember, you start with double quotes, you have to finish your double quotes. You cannot mix quotes. And then you write the name of the file exactly. And then you can name could be your choice. You can put anything you want. You can put my crazy table, my favorite table. That's up to you because that's a name you are giving to that table. Okay? But the file has to be the same, exactly the same. Okay, so moving on, anything, then we put the schema. The schema is gonna tell us how the table is organized. So in this table, you can see the name of the table, and what is the column, different columns. And then we say select all the columns from, and we have to put the name of the table, okay? And you can open this file and compare that is the same. So you can open it on here. What else? Okay, so any questions so far? How is it going? Is it super hard or is kind of no hard?
It's going good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, good. So moving on. So now we know how to print the whole thing. And if you were with me in the previous classes, with Python, trying to do this with Python, it takes longer. I'm sure you notice now how it is to print the whole thing. You just put, the output, you just write this simple code and you get the whole table. So a couple of weeks ago, we were doing the same thing with Python and it was more complicated. So here you have different syntax. So this is the syntax we just used. You can also choose the columns. So you can maybe choose one column, time frame, timestamp, or you can choose flavors, and it's gonna print only that column. So you can try after this class and try to put this, and this will be like this. It's no lines. On this IDE, you can know, in some SQL IDE, you can separate in lines. This one, no, you have to put the whole thing in one line and end it with semicolon. Yeah, once you do Control D, you close the session. So if you want to get out of the SQL environment, you can put Control D, but you could lose everything. Everything. If you didn't save it, you lose everything. So you'll have to start again. You have to go and import mode and do the whole thing I just did. But we're gonna save it before we leave today. So now let's do the next thing, which is some of you, if you take my class, remember we were trying to get everything organized. And we have a lot of duplicates here. If you see this is a list of popular ice creams, and you can see there is a lot of repetition. So if you want to find out what are the popular ice creams.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any way to do a save on a quick key?
Yeah, we're gonna do a save. You mean what I mean a save?
As you go, as you're going through, can you just click on some save so you don't have to?
No, because you're sending data to a database, and so far we haven't saved it to the database. We're just running in between the memory, and we haven't saved it to a database.
So there's no way to do a quick save, right?
No, there is a quick save. It's just I'm saving it for the last part of the class.
One question.
Yes.
That creating the table, isn't that table is getting created inside the database, and isn't that being saved?
Yeah, but it hasn't been saved.
Okay.
Because we don't have a database yet. It's still like in a RAM memory. It's still a memory, and it hasn't been really saved.
You imported this from somewhere else, right? So that's,
yeah, but it's not saved. It doesn't have a location. It's like it's in memory. It's not, doesn't have a physical location that is saved.
Temporary.
Okay, but great questions. So a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how in Python we were doing how to figure out how to eliminate the duplicates and get only the unique values. So in SQL, you can do it very easy. You're gonna use select distinct, and remember how in Python we were doing uppercase. So guess what? We just need to put select distinct is the code that function in SQL is gonna take only unique values. Upper is gonna put everything in uppercase. Flavor is the name of the column that we want to extract. So we put here flavor, and we type exactly as it is on the file from ice cream table. So go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna put it on Slack too. 1 second, let me find my Slack that is hidden somewhere here. 1 second. There it is. And I'm gonna put it on the Zoom. So you can take that code and run it, and now you're gonna see here the unique flavors. So if you were with me a couple of weeks ago, you're gonna appreciate this, right? Much easier than all the code we had to do before. Okay, so now, so you can see why SQL is so popular, because you can get a lot of information with very little code. So now we have that, and so now we're gonna save it into a database. So we're gonna click, this is what everybody wanted to do. So I'm gonna put it here on. So this is called .save ice cream table.db. The ice cream table is your choice. You can call it whatever you want. Wait, let me see. No, you're gonna save it. It's the same name, it's a table, and you can, forget what I just said. You're gonna take the same name that you use, the same name, which is a table that is in memory called ice cream table. And then you're gonna put that DB, D as dog and B as burrito. That DB, and now it's gonna get saved. So go ahead and type that and press enter and tell me what happens.
Nothing happens.
Something happened. Look at your left. Look here at your left. Something shows up.
Right.
It created a file.
It created a file. Yeah, it created a file. That's what it's gonna do. That's what it's gonna do. So you're gonna see here on my screen, there is a file that's gonna show up here. So there it is. So everybody should have, if you run the code, you're gonna see ice cream table.db. And now it's saved. Now if you get out, that exists and you can call it later.
So question, did we select the name of the database as the same as the name of the table?
No, it's different because the file, you mean the file name is ice cream, and then this name is ice cream table, but this name and this name has to be the same.
Yeah, that's a CSV file. I'm not talking about CSV file. I'm talking about the table within the database.
Yeah.
They both have the same name.
Yes.
Okay.
Because otherwise the computer doesn't know what you're talking about.
Really? What if you want second table?
Yeah, we just.
Okay, never
This
mind.
is the easy part. This is the easy part. This is just the first class. So yeah, I had all these questions too, but we're dealing with databases, and it's a different world with databases. So we have to start getting used to how databases work. It's not the same than having files in your computer. Databases are a little more work differently. So what I want you to do now, if you were successful or when you're successful to create this, what we just did, go ahead and open the DB, ice cream table DB file. And right now, if you want, you can get out of the environment. It's okay. I just gonna leave it like that in case somebody, but we're done with this environment. So go ahead and where it says ice cream table DB on your file, double click on it and open it. And we're gonna see what the database look like. So here's, this is the IDE. The IDE is telling us we're moving into another place, and we just click proceed and just telling you don't put any sensitive information because you don't know who can, because we're just using like a learning environment. We don't know.
How do you get that? Sorry, I didn't get
You
it.
click here where it says ice cream table.db.
Okay.
You just click on it, open it.
Oh, okay.
And then you're gonna see here. And this is just, just make sure you don't put your phone number and your credit card and all the stuff in there because you don't know who is looking at that. And then you click, when you're ready, click proceed. And then this is the back door of the database. So you're gonna see here the structure of the database, and then you're gonna see your table. See that? So in this case, this database that we created has the same name of the table. In this case, in reality, what you want is have a database that is your main database, and then you have different tables underneath. But in this case, because we're doing this all for the first time, I just want to give you simple code how to start working the SQL environment. So we just did very simple commands.
How do we load this DB file into the environment, like after we quit?
Excuse me?
After we quit the SQLite, how do I bring it back to the database?
Yeah, well, so this is gonna stay there. So I just gonna quit. So you wanna, when you're done with your SQL environment, you just type that quit, or you do Control D. And it's going back to the normal terminal. You can see now I'm back to my normal terminal. And you can go here to your file, the ice cream table.db file that you save. Remember, you saved that. And you can open it and you can see it. You can look here and see different things, but we don't use, this is like an interface, and I wouldn't touch this. I just show to you, but I don't touch this at all, because I don't know exactly how it's gonna interact with your computer or anything. So I just wanted to show you so you can see the back door, the back code, how it looks, how physically it looks. but we usually just gonna work on the SQL file, on the SQLite environment, and get all the information there.
I think the question is, I also, one person has asked that, so once I quit, so I go back there, I would not get that table anymore, right?
You're not gonna get the what?
Once I quit from the SQLite environment, and I then again go back to the SQLite 3 again.
Yeah.
So once I go there, then I'm not going to get that table anymore because I already quit from the previous session.
Yeah.
Now the file is saved, that I know. How do I get that exactly the table like before in the new environment?
We're gonna do that next week.
Okay.
You can open it. You can open the database and then add more tables.
Okay.
Okay. So so in what we're gonna do the next 2 weeks is to open a database that already exists and add tables to it and move from table to table. So you can delete all this because we're not gonna use this anymore. Next time we're gonna create a database and then we're gonna add a table and then we're gonna add another table possibly if we have time. And then we can get information for move from one table to another table. But we can do that next week. But for now, just get used to the environment and get used to, you know, there is a lot of stuff to going around Slack, Cs50. And the other thing that you all need to work on is getting used to the Cs50 Ide and learn how to navigate. So for example, how you can make files and everything is tutorials. I have here tutorials how to move, how to create folders, how to navigate. If you need a refresher on the code to move into the terminals, you know, you can get used to that. So we can work more next week, because next week we're gonna have it's better if you have folders that separates your contain your work. Okay, so let me see if there is anything else I need to do.
One more question.
Sure.
Also, Python is there. Are you going to teach us the Python also?
Yeah, the last week, I'm gonna show you simple code in Python. So the Python, what it's gonna do is whatever we did today, we can write it in Python and we just run the code. And so we can put instruction in SQL inside of Python. So we don't have to do everything we did just today. It'll run and we don't even have to go to the SQL environment. It'll run everything, which is the beauty of knowing SQL and Python, because you are automatic, doing things automatic. You're doing actions automatic. But it's the last class and it's gonna be very simple. I'm just gonna give you a code that you can use. Okay, so you guys have been great. I hope I'll see you next Tuesday. I hope this is helpful for all of you. And if not, it's okay. I don't, you know, we're here to help. And if you have any questions, if you have any questions about CS50 IDE, email me or Slack me.
You said Tuesday or Thursday?
Welcome to any questions. Thursday, every Thursday at 7. You're welcome, and I encourage you to practice. If you have any question anytime, send me a message on Slack. I'm always on Slack, even if you are watching this, you know, in a recording. You that's why I encourage you to use Slack, because I can answer your questions Saturday, Sunday, 9 o'clock, anytime I can help you.
There I have the question from the Slack. I already sent you an email. That is
Okay.
that something that I have to install it on my cell phone or on my PC?
Okay, so I'm gonna stop recording, and then can you hold on, and I'm gonna help you with that. So 1 second, let me stop recording so we can troubleshoot that. Is to pause to stop recording, and then I have to do this.